people are not for peace. You can tell it's the same kind of movement that started with BLM, and it'll be the same kind of violent movement later on. They don't want peace.
Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Murderers go home! Murderers go home! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live!
Well, that's Marjorie Taylor Space Laser Greene calling the Jewish Voices for Peace not only anti-Semitic, but violent. That is the Jewish Voices for Peace. She's got to be the dumbest person in Washington.
Rashida Tlaib has I don't even want to call it the Palestinian flag because they're not a state, they're a territory that's about to probably get eviscerated and go away here shortly, as we're going to turn that into a parking lot.
So he just openly called for a genocide and it's crickets. Meanwhile, we censure Rashida Tlaib, who desires Palestinian liberation and a ceasefire. So much for American moral superiority.
Iran, if you escalate this war, we're coming for you.
Are you effectively poised to declare war on Iran? That's very strong language.
I am poised to use military force to destroy the source of funding for Hamas and Hezbollah.
Well, there you have it. Lindsey Graham, with absolutely no skin in the game, he's not going to be suiting up for battle, and he clearly doesn't have any children that would either. Wonder why he doesn't have any children. Calling for war with a country of 90 million and a strong missile program. It's easy to do from an armchair when you have nothing to lose.
It's been kind of disturbing to us. I've heard Democrats suggest that there needs to be a ceasefire. Let us be clear. We've been very clear about this. There was a ceasefire. It was before October 7th, and Hamas broke it, and Israelis suffered unspeakable acts of evil, as you've heard even recounted here this morning. Israel doesn't need a ceasefire. It needs its allies to cease with the politics and deliver support now. And that's what we're doing. House Republicans plan to do that. We're going to do it in short order, and it provides Israel the aid it needs to defend itself, free its hostages, and eradicate Hamas, which is a mission that must be accomplished. All of this, while we also work to ensure responsible spending and reduce the size of the federal government to pay for that commitment to our friend and ally.
I'm sorry, did the new Speaker of the House just suggest that we tighten up our spending so that we can send Israel money for its war in Gaza? Wow, those are some real America First priorities.
You knew there were civilians there, you knew there were refugees, all sorts of refugees, but you decided to still drop a bomb on that refugee camp attempting to kill the Hamas commander. By the way, was he killed?
I can't confirm yet. There'll be more updated. Yes, we know that he was killed.
Well, we have so fervently backed Israel's atrocities for so long that they are openly and casually admitting to bombing a refugee camp on CNN. I have no words.
As a whole, I would encourage the other side to not so lightly throw around the idea of innocent Palestinian civilians, as is frequently said. I don't think we would so lightly throw around the term innocent Nazi civilians during World War II.
There are no innocent Palestinian civilians? That sounds a whole lot like Hamas's justification for the atrocities they committed on October 7th. And now the United States wants us to co-sign collective punishment. You know, punishing civilians for the actions of their elected officials. Officials, mind you, that weren't elected since 2006, when the vast majority of Palestinians were babies or not even alive. The average age of folks in Gaza is about 18 years old. So collective punishment makes absolutely no sense when the vast majority of them didn't even elect Hamas. But I digress. So let's recap. We censure politicians who express a desire for Palestinian liberation and call for a ceasefire, and it's crickets when our politicians suggest that we turn Gaza, a city of 2 million people, into a parking lot. We have no moral superiority. We cannot expect our very necessary condemnation of Hamas to actually mean anything if we refuse to look at the conditions that might actually allow a terrorist organization to thrive. Our condemnation is toothless if it is one-sided. And suggesting that Americans pinch pennies and tighten our belts so that we can send Israel more money for war is laughable. It is very difficult to find a diplomatic solution when we are saber-rattling and sending more weapons. Please, come up with a diplomatic solution, because we can all agree terrorism is bad, and every time Israel inflicts violent retribution for acts of terror, more terror is created. I'm David Balaban for Rebel HQ.